Perhaps some of you have heard of crop circles. But if you haven't, today, I will share with you a mystery that humanity has not been able to explain. Crop circles are a phenomenon where intricate, beautiful, and mysterious patterns suddenly appear. Many believe that crop circles are created by extraterrestrial beings or influenced by the energies of an advanced civilization beyond Earth. In 2008, Umberto Baudo, an Italian inventor, stated, "I believe that these circles are the highest form of expression. Through the images of these crop circles, we can convey things that words cannot, especially if there is a language barrier between them and our human civilization." So today, let's unravel the mystery of crop circles. To date, more than 10,000 crop circles have been discovered in over 50 countries. Interestingly, about 1/3 of them have been found in the United Kingdom, while the rest are primarily located in the United States, Canada, and various European countries, with no reports of their appearance in Asia. These crop circles vary in size, ranging from a few meters in diameter to several hundred meters. Despite the name, they don't necessarily appear in wheat fields and can be found in various other types of fields, including flower fields and corn fields. Nowadays, we've noticed a pattern with crop circles, as they often appear near ancient landmarks, particularly the Stonehenge monument in the United Kingdom. The exact time of the first appearance of crop circles cannot be determined, but the earliest recorded sighting dates back to 1678 in England. In a picture known as the Mowing Devil, it depicts what appears to be a demon harvesting a field with a tail on its head and horns, resembling what could be the first crop circle. In modern times, crop circles became widely known around 1966 in Queensland, Australia. A farmer was working in a field when he heard a strange sound, and as he looked up, he saw a glowing sphere. The sphere then flew away, and when the sound returned closer to the ground, he discovered a circular area with flattened crops. Interestingly, the media at the time focused more on the glowing sphere than the circular pattern. But this might have been one of the early instances of a crop circle. Starting from that point, various regions in the United Kingdom consistently reported sightings of crop circles with different shapes and sizes. The media coverage attracted the attention of many scientists and UFO researchers. Those who witnessed crop circles divided into 3 different schools of thought. The first school believed that these circles were man-made. The second school believed they were created by extraterrestrial beings and UFOs. The third school believed that crop circles were a result of natural processes. The hypothesis of natural formation appears unlikely, and if it were claimed that humans created crop circles, the question remains, how did they create them, and what was their purpose? From the 1970s to the 1990s, no one came forward to claim responsibility for these intricate patterns, despite the considerable time and effort required to create them. This silence is indeed quite puzzling. If I were the creator of a crop circle, I might have announced it to the media rather than remaining silent for 20 years. From here, we must ask the significant question: what is their purpose? Event 1991. After many years of little attention paid to crop circles, a significant event occurred in 1991. On September 9, 1991, 2 elderly retired men in England came forward and admitted that since 1976, they had been responsible for creating all the crop circles around the world. Their names were Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley. They explained how they created crop circles. They used a wooden plank, attached a rope to it, held the rope, and then walked on the plank, pressing down on the wheat stalks, little by little, in concentric circles, thus creating the crop circles as we see them today. To prove their claim, they created a crop circle with media witnesses. However, the crop circle they created looked very rudimentary, with circles not perfectly round, and straight lines not entirely straight. Despite their creations not resembling authentic crop circles, they garnered significant attention. The media extensively covered this event. But not long after this event, people began to doubt its authenticity. Firstly, the two men claimed they had started making crop circles after 1976, and that they were responsible for all the crop circles worldwide. This was implausible, illogical, and highly unlikely. The most obvious reason being that these two men hardly ever left England, whereas crop circles were also appearing in places like the United States, Canada, and Australia, countries these two men had never set foot in. Moreover, the idea of these elderly men traveling to a foreign country to create an intricate art piece in the middle of the night on someone else's field seemed very likely to lead to their apprehension by the authorities. Therefore, their claim of authorship of crop circles was highly improbable. The next suspicion arose from the sheer size of the crop circles. It would have been impossible for just two people to create them in one night. So why did they lie? Some began to speculate that the UK government might be behind their actions to conceal the truth about crop circles. It is possible that at the time, the UK government suspected that crop circles were created by extraterrestrial beings, but wanted to prevent societal chaos. So, they found these two elderly men, offered them incentives, and had them claim responsibility for creating the crop circles. What's noteworthy is that both the US and Australia also acknowledged that crop circles were created by these two men. This can be deduced. If the US and Australia did not acknowledge it, it would mean admitting that crop circles were created by extraterrestrial beings. This disinformation campaign was highly effective, as the press and media sensationalized this information. Gradually, people began to form a misconception that Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley were indeed responsible for creating crop circles. This is what we call the Mandela effect. Despite the fact that crop circles were not actually their creations, the constant exposure in the media led to the formation of a distorted collective memory. Oh, I think Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley created the crop circles, right? Authentic and fake crop circles. Many scientists and organizations attempted to verify whether crop circles were of human origin or not. They conducted experiments. Initially, they invited several gardening experts and divided them into small groups. They then found a field and provided the groups with various samples of crop circles of different sizes. Each group was tasked with creating a crop circle in the designated field to determine if humans could produce one. However, to create a crop circle, certain conditions must be met. It needs to be completed between midnight and dawn without causing disturbance to the surrounding farms. After numerous experiments, they concluded creating a crop circle at night is impossible. This was due to the lack of light at night, limited human visibility, making the creation of such a complex structure unfeasible, even with the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, which still couldn't accomplish it within 10 hours, let alone create a perfectly circular shape. Afterwards, they experimented in the morning. In the daylight, they could create them, but the size had to be very small, not exceeding 30 meters, and the shape had to be simple enough for humans to make. They then compared artificially created crop circles with authentic ones and found a significant difference in their nature. In the case of crop circles made by humans, they had to step on wooden planks to flatten the wheat. They observed that leaves and petals were crushed and scattered chaotically on the ground. The stems and flowers were also damaged, with an incomplete appearance. However, for the authentic crop circles, they discovered that the wheat plant seemed to lie down voluntarily. very naturally. The stems, flowers, and leaves were undamaged and intact, just like the wheat plants that had been sown that way originally. When they brought the wheat plants from the authentic crop circles back for research on why do they lie down on their own, they made an astonishing discovery. Wheat plants have 4 or 5 stems, but the uppermost stem was extended compared to the others. Meanwhile, the lower stems underwent deformation, showing the presence of holes. It seemed like these holes were formed due to an explosion in these stems, making them hollow and softer, causing the wheat to gently lie down, rather than being forcibly pressed down by someone. There was no harm done to the wheat plants. If one were to argue that crop circles were created by humans, who could accomplish this with such advanced technology? I will explain why I say they would need extremely cutting-edge technology. The wheat plants that humans pressed down to create crop circles would almost certainly die after several days. However, the wheat plants in these authentic crop circles continued to live and thrive, even growing better than other wheat plants, even though they lay flat on the ground. So, without advanced technology, this would be impossible. This leads to the conclusion that crop circles cannot be created with a strong external force. Subsequently, many physicists and biologists have studied this phenomenon. They arrived at the conclusion that there was an electromagnetic force acting on the wheat plants, causing them to explode within an extremely small range inside the wheat stems. Even to this day, science and technology have not been able to replicate this. Crop circles appear, and then what happens? Many curious people come to see, but eventually, they leave. Eventually, the field owner also has to harvest, and thus, they erase the crop circle. However, strangely enough, the next year, when the field owners begin a new season, the shape of the previous crop circle still reappears on the field. This phenomenon repeated itself for 3 years. Initially, everyone thought that something may have affected the soil in that area. However, even after digging up the soil and replacing it with new soil, the phenomenon remained the same. Additionally, in some other crop circles, radiation was detected. Therefore, the crop circle event can be said to be non-artificial and non-natural. Even science cannot explain it. So, how are crop circles formed? From then until now, over 70 people have claimed that they witnessed how crop circles were created, but they could only describe it verbally. And even then, it was very vague and hard to understand. Fortunately, one person managed to capture the moment crop circle was formed on video. The footage was taken in 1991 by a photographer who specialized in capturing images of crop circles. While photographing a crop circle, the photographer noticed an unidentified flying object flying near him. Not far away, the flying object was glowing, and as it flew further away, it approached a truck near a nearby farm, then gradually disappeared. Furthermore, in this video clip, you can see a glowing flying object creating a crop circle in a very short amount of time. The crucial point is that it matches the descriptions of over 70 eyewitnesses. Some saw a glowing unidentified flying object, while others heard a humming sound. After hearing the sound, 3 seconds later, the crop circle appeared in the field. Everything was different from the hypotheses of the people. A group of people worked continuously for 10 hours at night to create a crop circle. Yet, with just 3 to 5 seconds after the sound of the flying object, the crop circle was created. Outside, Enteri's message to us. In 1991, supernatural phenomena expert Eric Beckjord had an idea to create a crop circle with a message to communicate with extraterrestrial beings. The message he wrote was, "Talk to us." He hoped to receive a response from extraterrestrial beings. Surprisingly, few days later, he actually received an answer. A few days later, a crop circle resembling ancient Latin script appeared in the field. After 10 years of decoding efforts by researchers and scientists, They received a staggering message.
Hello, I am E. You can also call me Enki or Tar. I represent a completely new race, full of love and wisdom. I am the one who created you. I do not like artificial and fake. I still cannot reveal myself.
On September 19, 2001, at the Chilbolton Observatory, Hampshire, United Kingdom, a baffling image appeared in a nearby field. It depicted a giant and complex human face. After taking the photo of this crop circle and processing the image, and it is exactly like the image we captured on Mars. What does this image represent? Why are they showing us this image? No one understands what they are trying to convey. It can only be said that this is the face of the one who created this image, and they come from Mars. The answer from the extraterrestrial. While people were discussing and proposing various theories about this strange phenomenon, 3 days later, another crop circle appeared right at the location of the giant face. This time, it was a rectangular shape, more familiar looking, as many recognized it. In 1974, 40 years prior, this was the image that scientists sent information related to Earth's humanity, translated into binary code, through the Arecibo Observatory, in Puerto Rico, USA, beamed towards the star cluster M13, hoping that someday, in that distant galactic message, some extraterrestrial lifeform would discover us. This famous interstellar message was known as the Arecibo message. Now, let's observe the crop circle image. It closely resembles the Arecibo message. Scientists say this is a response message from extraterrestrial beings. Now, let's compare these two images to gain a clearer understanding of the basic information about extraterrestrial beings. 1. In the elemental composition, DNA has been altered from carbon-based to silicon-C. 2. The length and distribution of DNA have changed. It's no longer the double helix chain like in humans. 3. The number of nucleotides has also changed. 4. Their population is 21.3 billion. 5. The imagery has changed from a human figure to an extraterrestrial being. They are shorter than us, only 1,008 millimeters tall. 6. They live on stars 4, 5, and 6, with 3 stars orbiting around star number 6. 7. The spacecraft propulsion power is much greater, and its shape is much more complex. Speaking of the shape of this launch pad, it reminds people of an event in August 2000. Before this, crop circle appeared in 2001. Another crop circle had appeared on that same field in 2000. When people drew the shape of this crop circle into a picture, everyone could recognize it. This was the shape of the extraterrestrial spacecraft launch pad. They have contacted us many times and also affirmed to humanity in this universe, we are not alone. A warning from crop circles to humanity. In August 2022, in the small town of Crabwood, Winchester, United Kingdom, a very strange crop circle appeared. It was the image of an extraterrestrial being's face, with 3 bright spots and a CD disc. Many researchers recognized the 3 bright spots resembling the Orion constellation. The CD disc was decrypted by digital technology expert Paul Vigay. After encoding the image into binary programming, he discovered that this was a warning letter to humanity. Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing, OX07. Though this message is short, it left everyone astonished. Be wary of malevolent extraterrestrials. On June 28, 2015, in Torriano, Italy, a crop circle appeared with Latin letters. The first word was timeo, meaning fear. The second word et means alien. The third word ferentes in Latin means bring. It resembled a line from the Roman poet Virgil, Timeo Danos et dona ferentes, which translates to, beware of Greeks bearing gifts. From this, we can infer that this message means, beware of extraterrestrials bearing gifts. So, what is this deceptive gift? Those knowledgeable about this believe that taking over human bodies is the objective of extraterrestrial beings. Because the human body structure is a masterpiece, embodying the essence of the entire universe, his body can ascend to even higher realms. This is the dream of extraterrestrial life forms. First, extraterrestrial beings lead humans to use computer technology. Then, they implant into the human body substances from beyond the universe that human eyes cannot see. Finally, they completely control and replace humans. This deceptive gift encompasses the entire lofty realm of scientific knowledge. Extraterrestrial beings are also divided into two types: good and bad. Malevolent extraterrestrials fear that if we discover their plot, we will resist. As for benevolent extraterrestrials, they do not want to interfere with human society. Hey, wish for a development that aligns with the path desired by the Supreme Being. Both of these messages aim to caution humanity. Be cautious. While highly advanced scientific technology is beneficial, when reaching the pinnacle of technological advancement, humanity will realize the danger. This is a grand play. I remember that the boy from Mars mentioned the crop circles they created. Although we are currently experiencing the most powerful era of scientific and technological development, we have completely overlooked spiritual science. If we continue like this, the end of humanity will come, and the cause of destruction will be none other than ourselves. However, from the information above, we can infer that the benevolent extraterrestrial being is the one from Mars, as mentioned by the boy from Mars, right? Therefore, to clarify the boy from Mars, in the next episode, I will create a video about him. I hope everyone will follow and like our videos.